The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Thursday, the 24th day of April, 2025. Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy. I'm Jamel Hartman, and Maya Palacio will be with us in a bit to bring you the latest in the news break brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Folks, this is our last show of the traditional work week, our last show of the week, final show before we celebrate 5 years and over 1,100. I think today's 1,133. So 1,133 community conversations with all of you. Boy, it's exciting, but this is our last show before we celebrate on Saturday, and we're really looking forward to seeing so many of you. Honestly, it's I love celebrating things. I love celebrating community and people and achievements and so on. So yeah, this is our final show before we celebrate on Saturday night. And you know what? I was just telling Maya, I said, man, Maya, we got people over the last 2-3 days reach out about tickets. And we said like they're sold out. And you know, we predicted this. We know how we are. We wait last minute. I did it. Look, man, I went to a show last week and I had to pay literally for the craziest. I had to buy from scalpers, basically. They felt like scalpers, the resale ticket, and they were pretty much triple the price. And they were in the last row because I waited last minute. So we have a tendency to do that. But folks, there's no more unless someone who's already going to be at the gala in attendance wants to sell you their ticket. We just don't have any more at this point. But you can keep reaching out. Something may come up. But I'm excited. I'm excited that people are that interested. I'm excited for the panelists. I'm excited to that we're going to be honoring Glenn. I'm excited that we're going to be celebrating 5 years of community conversations. I'm just excited to engage people in person as we, celebrate all that is great about the media space that we work in. So again, looking forward to seeing everyone who has a ticket at LFA International Airport on Saturday. All right. Well, greetings, everyone, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. A good one today as we welcome Shaimeka Ingham from PALS. She's a social worker, medical social worker at PALS. Really looking forward to the conversation. Earlier this week, we had a gentleman from Bermuda Cancer and Health Center, and this week, PALS. We're proud to be a partner with PALS. The Daily Hour going forward, we'll be having important community conversations with them, learning about what they do and how it impacts all of us. So looking forward to the conversation with Shaimeka, the first of many with our friends at PALS. The Daily Play is going to be a Name That Place today. All right, Name That Place. Don't forget, if you haven't already, subscribe on our website, follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. I'm all over the place this morning, you all. I'm all over the place. All righty, we've got Larry Marshall Jr. Oh, I put the Jr. there. I know it's Jr. He says, good morning, TDH family. Morning to you, sir. Hope all is well with you. Looking forward to seeing you on Saturday night. Suzanne Ingham says, awesome Thursday, Jamal. I miss you already for tomorrow. Well, you could have seen us on Saturday in person. in person. Suzanne, we miss you too. Emily Gail Dill says, congratulations, you are making a tremendous impact. Thank you, MP Dill. We appreciate you and your support. Let's get into today's conversation, folks. Let's jump into today's conversation. So, look, man, this is a forever conversation in our community, but people seem to be up in arms recently. And I'm just going to read from our friends over at the Royal Gazette. The title was Abandoned Schools Set for New Lease of Life as Retail Space, right? And the story reads, an abandoned public school building is set to be transformed into retail and office space, according to planning documents. Under proposals submitted by the construction firm On-Site Engineering Services, the former Bishop Spencer School in Pembroke will also house a workshop, a warehouse, and dormitories for up to 12 staff. The three-story government-owned property on the Glebe Road has been derelict for decades. In 2011, it was earmarked for emergency housing, but that initiative proved too costly. All right, well, that was from the government, right? They wanted to turn it into retail business, and people were up in arms and then calling, oh, we need affordable housing. Well, the OBA, same Royal Gazette, OBA calls for abandoned building to be converted into housing. And it goes on to say, Michael Fay, the shadow minister of housing and municipalities, said that he was stunned that the former Bishop Spencer School was not being repurposed for supporting either a transitional living facility, emergency housing, or a senior's home. Under proposals submitted by well, I just read that to you. Mr. Fay said that while he was happy for businessman E.R. Burrows, who's reported to be behind the proposal, he found it beyond strange that the disused building was being leased to a private business, giving the overwhelming need for housing on the island. So I'm going to stop there, and we're going to put the question out. Here's this morning's question. What are your thoughts on abandoned and unused government buildings? Like, what are your thoughts on them? We just had Sia Spence on yesterday. Really encouraging conversation. Again, big up to Sia for utilizing her network to give back to the Bermudian community. But we had her on yesterday, and just talking about different sites like Spice Valley and the old Barclays being used for different things. There are people who are looking for spaces to do things. But then when we have the conversations on this show and we ask people, what should government do with, we're going to have schools that are going to be closed, right? And these are not government owned, but folks, let's be honest, Bermuda has changed. People are not going to church like they once did. Some of these churches in Bermuda only have about 10 attendees now, right? No disrespect, but those properties may be able to be repurposed and actually come together at a neighboring church, close church. I'll use two examples, St. Monica's and St. Augustine churches. Now, I haven't been into the halls of those churches during a service since I was a child, but I guarantee you they'd probably do more to help one another by merging than having two different locations, right? So those can be repurposed. But again, let's get back to government's unused or abandoned spaces. What are your thoughts on abandoned and unused government buildings? Like, what can we do? Like, is there something that you would advise that, people see, or let's go to this. Do you believe the government should prioritize affordable housing? Is that something you think that the government should do? A yes or no? Do you think the government should prioritize affordable housing? Yes or no? No. Everybody seemed to be, well, the comments I saw, why wouldn't they do housing? Why are they doing retail? Well, it made me think of the airport. If you remember the airport, the government of the day had said that, well, look, this company will take over for 30 years and they will be the ones to invest and, spend the money to fix it. That's how I see this leasing option with the company here. The private company is, well, the government doesn't have the funds to revitalize it, so lease it to them and they put the money. That's at least how I saw it. Governments removing themselves from having to expense it, right? With anything else that maybe Mr. Fay is suggesting, that would require government to invest. That would require, for government housing or a senior space, that would require government to work, right? Like expense. And I know it sounds good, and we probably need that. And we've had these conversations on the show. But then how do we finance it? Where do we take that money from? All right. So again, what are your thoughts on abandoned and unused government buildings? That's based on the current discussion around what government is doing with the old police school up there on Bishop Spencer. And do you believe the government should prioritize affordable housing? We've got Kelly Clark Madeira says supported housing, says transitional housing from corrections. She says sober housing. Well, I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you. I think, do we allow a private entity to run that, or would that be government funded? How do we fund it? I think that's where this situation with the private entity may make sense to the government, because the government's saying, well, it's not costing us anything, we're leasing it. So how do we navigate that where it makes sense for everyone? Audience, do you believe the government should prioritize affordable housing, or should that be left to private entities or private landowners, private homeowners? I mean, we just had what's it called, Grand Atlantic up there on South Shore, Grand Atlantic, where they were going to be affordable homes. Then it was going to be a hotel, and they pushed that lady, bought that lady out, and now it's going to be apartments. Now, they didn't say affordable, but I know a lot of people were up in arms about that space because studios were for, I guess, extravagant amount, and people were like, well, how is this affordable? Well, I think we've got to understand the language that's being used as well. I don't think that they've been using that term affordable recently. It's housing, yes, but affordable. I mean, how do we define what's affordable? How do we define what's affordable? What's affordable to myself may be different from Maya, may be different from you. Like, how do we determine that? It's interesting because the airport's I know that was a big situation. And people were like, very unhappy, it seemed, that they felt that the airport was being given away. Well, with this situation, it's based on what I just read, they would be leasing this private space. It's almost the same thing as on a smaller scale, no? It's the same thing. But what are your thoughts, audience? What are your thoughts on abandoned and unused government buildings? And also, do you believe the government should prioritize affordable housing? Let's go to the comments. Suzanne Ingham says, we do not need any more expenses for us, the public. Well, to be fair, Suzanne, I don't disagree with you, but some things a government must underwrite, right? I think it's about, where do we take the money from? Because let's be honest, governments, not just this current government, do spend money in spaces that are not necessary, right? That may be subjective, but you get my point. So maybe they can take funding from another space, maybe tourism, I don't know, and put it over towards housing. But I get you. While a lot of the ideas sound great, seniors home, transitional housing, and the like, we need to find a way to support these things and maintain them, because we build them and then they turn to, crap. Then we have another issue. WKD Lama says, yes, government should prioritize affordable housing, but not all of those properties are suitable for housing, correct? And some of those properties will actually require a lot of investment and work, like just to get there. Do we have the funds as a government to do that? Absolutely, Jewel Eve. Jewel Eve says affordability is relative. It is. It's very different. What's affordable to me may be different to you and so many others. So I think that's a greater conversation that we need to have, is what is affordability on a grand scale? Like, we keep using the term affordable housing, but what does that look like? Larry Marshall says, I think they should prioritize housing, but in this particular instance, I agree with government. They need to collect. Also, that area is already densely populated. That's a good point, Larry. That's a very good point. The area is densely populated, but also, I mean, that's kind of my neighborhood. I'm not even sure, like, they would be able to accommodate parking, and it's so many other things that go into it, right? But it is a heavily densely populated area. And I think, look, I don't want you, I'm not friends with governments, but sometimes we have to digest things before we share our opinions. I really do try to do that, which is why I spend hours reading and trying to understand things before I talk about them. And it's okay to agree with both sides. I actually understand the government leasing this, but I also understand the concerns that Michael Fay, the shadow minister, mentioned. Like, I actually think both sides make sense, but I do think I lean more towards what the government is doing in this instance, which is probably unpopular with most of you all. Charles H. Jefferson II, he says, my question is turning that into housing the most cost-effective thing to do with any of the buildings. I would rather see government support for derelict homes to be brought back online. Charles, I think I'm with you right there, man. I think I'm with you right there. I think if government, like we discussed yesterday or day before, if the government can work with private homeowners or private real estate owners or property owners, right, to entice them to revitalize, renovate, and bring their buildings back some way to the benefit of the community, it will cost much less, or it should, if you can incentivize them. Incentivize them like this. Like, so not saying give them money, but the same way how you did that deal with Fairmont Southampton that you all were happy about and I wasn't. But anyway, that's another show. But the same way we did that, you can say, look, everyone's unhappy with what happened on Crow Lane, right? Okay, look, if you fix this building up, we will not charge you this tax for the next 5 years. If you lease this amount of spaces, we will not, like, give some concessions. But I agree with you, Charles. You can say to a private entity, look, if you create this space for transitional housing, we will cut this tax for you. Or that's like, incentivize them somehow. But I think that's what Charles is saying. Correct me if I'm wrong, Charles. I think that's what you're saying. There's more cost-effective ways to do this without the government underwriting. Folks, and I'm not saying this to fearmonger. I'm really not. But the government will tell you too. The country is broke. That's our reality. The country doesn't have money, and we already have issues when they spend money. So we have to be very, and again, I think we think with our hearts more than our minds sometimes, right? And the emotion, and that's okay. That's okay. Because the truth is, we do need those things, the housing, the transitional living. We need those things. It's just a matter of how do we get there. Suzanne Ingham says, take the money from all the raises, including the recent 18.8%. Well, they made that easy for you, Suzanne, didn't they? We've got Kelly Clark Madeira says, private-public partnerships, publicly owned, privately run, supported by government agencies and charities, accountability of services, and outcome measures a must. Home is doing a lot of this work. Bermuda Housing Corporation does a lot of this as well. I agree. There have to be trusted, measurable, right? Private-public partnerships. I completely agree with you on that. There has to be. What else? But again, audience, yes or no, do you believe the government should prioritize affordable housing? Or do you think that's something that is, no, well, the government shouldn't be in the real estate business. Leave that to private entities. Richard Scott says, government-owned unused buildings could be turned into museums to acknowledge and celebrate our history. That's fair. Does the government underwrite that and pay for it? Or does a private entity run that and pay for it? How does that look? How does that work? I say that because the government's response is, well, museums, we're going to have to pay for lights. We're going to have to pay for upkeep. We're going to have to pay for staff. You know how that goes. Yeah. Charles H. Jefferson II, he says, you're exactly right. I think it would be a great business idea for a contractor with underwritten by the government and the government getting their money back. Yeah. Yeah. What I'll say is Bermuda doesn't have that much land, right? I was talking to a good friend of mine from Turks and Caicos. And if you've never been, Turks and Caicos is a beautiful island. It's a beautiful island, but it's not as mature as Bermuda as far as development. Like Bermuda doesn't have any green space. What we do have, though, is a lot of derelict or abandoned buildings. Um, it's not a, it's like a good, bad problem. It's like, well, we do have some opportunities here. How do we get the most of those opportunities? How do we delve into these opportunities, right? How do we make the most of this for Bermuda? We've got many more buildings. We've got, as the schools transition, there are going to be government-owned buildings that are schools. This is a conversation that's not going anywhere. It's not. These are conversations that we can have with our MPs. And if you're an entrepreneur, it may be an opportunity to discuss. I mean, there's Maya did a story about not working spaces, creative workspaces, or I think you get what I'm saying, the workspaces. And I think that was at Cedar Bridge, if I'm not mistaken. But in saying that, there are so many people looking for spaces to work. What I will say is I don't think any idea should be off the table. I don't think any idea should be off the table. I do believe we need community conversations like this to see what makes sense. Because everything that you all have suggested makes sense. It's just about how do we go about doing it. Richard Scott says, if government owned, they should foot the bill. If not government owned, perhaps a private public co-op where both entities benefit. All righty. Well, folks, this is your daily discussion brought to you by our friends at Titan Express and Secure Trucking. We're going to show them some love. We'll bring Maya in for Daily Hour News Break, and we have a very important conversation with Shaimeka Ingham from PALS. We're going to be talking about the work that she does to pretty much care for people going through cancer treatment. In the meantime, if you haven't already, if you're on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter X, or Instagram, make sure you give us a love, like, follow, share the link with your friends, your family, your colleagues. Just show us some love.
The Daily Discussion is brought to you by Titan Express and Secure. Visit TitanEXBDA.com, your leading tour and transport provider specializing in Black History tours throughout the island. And SecureBDA.com for all your property management, waste management, residential, and commercial trucking needs. Professional, punctual, and reliable service is our commitment to you.
Good morning. Good morning.
Greetings, M to the P. How are you?
You know what? Feeling pretty refreshed this morning. Excited to be coming back to Bermuda very soon. So yeah.
Yeah. And tell the audience, I noticed you had a hairstyle different today.
Audience, this is not a hairstyle difference. This is me preparing for a hairstyle.
You censored a bunch of you. Like, you don't give me no credit.
I told you it's one of the I'm in transition to getting my hair done, and I couldn't put any gel in it. So this is it. This is what I had to do.
Okay, fine. And what was the story you did? Was it, remember the story where you spoke about Makerspace? Yes, Makerspace. No, we've spoken for a minute. I mean, we have so many creatives. I was, talking to Sia Spence yesterday. We've got the Creator Cocktails event coming up. People are always looking to create spaces. For me, and I'd like to get your opinion on this. I feel like if you create spaces for people that create, they'll find a way to make a living where that they can create or find affordable housing. Like one leads to the other. That makes sense?
Yes.
Or it should. Let me say but it should in a great space. But what are your thoughts on like some of these buildings and what the government's planning to do?
Well, first off, if you remember when we first introduced Makerspace, when the government first introduced it, what was it, almost 3 years ago? It was going to be, or said to be, in an abandoned building. Like that's what it was supposed to be set up to. Right now, it is at Cedar Bridge Academy. For how long it's going to be there, it really depends on if it's going to be used, to be quite honest with you. Like if people don't go to it, people don't use it, people don't see the benefit in it, then it's not going to be something that they're probably going to like advance on and create. However, there was a story that Teo did that this conversation sparked a memory in me about like something called like the golden ticket. I did a quick little research. I think it was like the Bermuda Economic Investment Certificate, whereas people could be residents and stay in Bermuda for up to 5 years as long as they give like $2.5 million into the following areas, which was one of them on there is residential or commercial real estate in Bermuda. So that's one out of the about 6 other things that they have to like give money to, 2.5 million, in order to stay on the island for 5 years.
We speak about it like it's like nothing, and most of us will never see that kind of money in our life, right? Yeah. All right, what you got today?
All right. Well, good morning, everyone. This is your Daily Hour News brought to you by the good people at People's Pharmacy. And a reminder, People's on Victoria Street is open 1 hour longer a day. Now, hopefully everyone is getting ready this weekend for the agricultural exhibition. But let's talk a little bit about the numbers, stats, and the history. From 21,000 to 11,000. Can the egg show make a comeback this year? So back in 2012, according to the then Minister of Public Works, Michael Weeks, Bermuda's agricultural exhibition drew close to 21,000 attendees. But last year, in 2024, the number dropped to just over 11,000. That's a striking decrease for an event Bermudians consider a cornerstone of the island's cultural calendar. So, your story today, what changed? The agricultural exhibition has long held a unique place in Bermuda's history. We're heading into the 84th show, but let's look back in history. The egg show first launched in 1843 at Mount Langton, Pembroke by Governor Reed, the same year plowing was first introduced. The event was designed to spark interest in local agriculture. Horses were once required to demonstrate plowing ability as part of the farm horse class until as recently as 1992. It wasn't until 1955 that the event became annual, with the Botanical Gardens serving as its home since 1922. According to the government, the event has the mandate to provide an educational and fun environment to embrace its agricultural heritage by providing a venue for local residents to display livestock, fruits, vegetables, baked goods, woodcraft, floriculture, and educational displays. While there are no available year-by-year attendance figures, the drop from 2012 to 2024, nearly a 50% decline, is a shocking statistic. So, why the drop-off? There could be a couple of reasons. Pandemic disruptions led to years without the full-scale show. For 3 years, there was no in-person show. Appeal to families. We talk about the digital hour a lot. How families choose to spend their weekends may also affect turnout. And in 2023, the government of Bermuda officially took over management of the show, replacing Eggshow Limited. The Department of Parks noted that last year's event was intentionally scaled back as part of a gradual return. So, can the egg show make a comeback this year? The government is calling this year a full-scale show, with performances such as extreme sports performances by professional US-based BMX stunt team Dialed Action in the show ring. And in a recent interview, Minister Jay Adams announced that although there are no pigs this year, which is a real disappointment for the island, the government has put procedures in place to ensure that the egg show has pigs going forward. History shows us that not every year the egg show is bright and colorful. Back in 2013, the farmers threatened to boycott the egg show over government red tape. Another glaring statistic I found through Burn News is the number of exhibitors dropping from 2,500 in 2016 to 1,500 in 2021. But there have been great positives too. Back in 2018 was the first year seniors and children had free access to the show thanks to Access Capital and HSBC. Community and the private sector also came together after 1 year the show couldn't happen due to financial constraints. So, history also proves that throughout the years, Bermudians continue to make the egg show happen and fight for it to be done with pride. But what do you think? Can we bring the number of attendees back up to scale? Can we push for 15,000 this year? 20,000? Can we prove that the egg show is still a cornerstone of the island's cultural calendar?
You all got to stop eating bacon and ham and stuff. That's why there's no pig. Maya, honestly, I used to go just for the pigs. That's the only time I could see pigs. So that's why I think I wouldn't have been in attendance, because when I found out there were no pigs. But I remember, so hold on, the government took over 2023, but Egg Show Limited was only created on the OBA, right? Like it wasn't that long.
Yeah, it wasn't that long, actually. Yeah, you're right about that.
Yeah, I remember they said it was an expense, and the Egg Show, based on what it takes to put it on, looks like a heavy expense. But Larry Marshall Jr. said the last year it fell on the same weekend as the Kappa Classic, so that could have impacted things. But I'll say this, man. When I grew up, the egg show was like one of the unofficial starts to summer break, man. You know what I'm saying? You wore your best clothes, you ate cotton candy while smelling horse manure, you know, and you know, yeah. But the pigs were the big thing for me, man.
Yeah, it is a big thing. Like everyone really loves the pigs. I really want to dive into why is it that we love the pigs so much. I think that's like one of the things that really like sparks a lot of like, why is it we just want to see the pigs? Like I don't know what it is, but they really spark an interest.
I think it's one of the, because most of us know that we see horses regularly, we see chickens, and we at least hear them regularly. But like most of the animals we'll see, pigs, we legit, most of us only saw pigs at the expo. So I think it was that thing where, oh, hey, let's see the pig. Children, they don't get to see pigs. Like they had that little Peppa Pig person on TV.
Right? Well, they'd be a big hit now.
Yeah. Yeah, so what's Charles saying? He says, Charles H. F. II says, the no pigs concern cracks me up. Yeah.
It's such a big
well, this is it too. Derek Hendrickson makes a great point. Pigs have historical relevance.
Right, the hogs.
Yeah, the hogs were the first, you know, inhabitants. I think we found them here, right? Did we find them?
I couldn't agree to that or disagree.
Yeah, Richard Scott said the pigs display is a staple attraction, possibly because of the location of the display too. Yeah,
this is true. I mean, let's give it up to the goats though. Like I enjoy seeing the goats. I think the goats are really cool, and obviously the chickens because there's so many. I mean, I know you say that we see chickens, but there's so many different types of chickens.
Yeah.
So it's pretty impressive how they care for them. And I don't know if you ever heard of like someone who actually like houses or homes chickens, but boy, do they love their chickens and their feathers and what they mean and the breed. It's a lot. There's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah, I think I'm going to write. I'd like to see the pigs back. I know you said that the minister said that they're working to have the pigs in the show next year. But yeah, it's no show without Oink. We need Oink. We need Oink in the house. You know. So that was a great story. Thank you for that. I think are we gonna? Well, we might be too busy to make the egg show. Man.
I'm going to the egg show. I land at some point, so I'm like, I'm still gonna go to the egg show, even if it's the same day as the gala. I'm going to the egg show.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try to make it just to experience. Yeah, I want to try to make it. At audience, anyone going to the egg show? Like, are you? I think like if you have a chance, go support. Go check it out.
We gotta bring those numbers back up. I know exactly what I want to get. Portuguese donuts. I do want to see the attractions. I definitely want to see the ghosts. I want to see the horses jump and the dog show. But I might miss the dog show depending on what day I go. But yeah.
Are you gonna get some cotton candy?
Not a big cotton candy fan, but I want the malasadas. I want the Portuguese donuts. I need that. In my life.
Kenton thinks I'm joking. The cotton candy with horse manure aroma in the air is funny. It's real, man. It's real. He said he's going today and tomorrow. Take some pictures, send some video. All right, MP, how's the weather looking?
All right, so today we've got a mix of sun and clouds, slight chance of an odd sprinkle. The weekend's also looking like white sun, but still a chance of some little showers coming through, 1 or 2 as well. So if you are going to the egg show, bring an umbrella just to be, wooey and be sure you're protected.
All right, I want to switch gears real quickly before you head out. Today in the US, it's National Bucket List Day. So I want to ask the audience and you, what is on your bucket list? What's on your bucket list?
On my bucket list is visiting Nicaragua. Where my father was born. I still have some family that's there, some that are still alive, like my old great-greats, so I want to go visit there.
Okay. What you got, audience? I'm going to say visit as many Black African countries as possible, but next I lost contact with him. A guy I went to college with was from Botswana. Botswana would be 1, Uganda 2, and Zimbabwe. So those will be on my bucket list as of today. That may change tomorrow, folks. I might see a picture or a video. But what's on your bucket list, audience? We've got Richard Scott says vacation to Tahiti. All right. That's over in the Pacific somewhere, right? Yeah, Tahiti. I'm not geographically inclined, so forgive me if it's...
Oh, I'm not even good at it when it comes to Bermuda. Down there to the left, somewhere around the corner.
Okay. Richard Scott says African safari. Yeah, I was telling someone about when I first went on a safari in South Africa, they had this sign up before they drove you in and basically said, if you lose a limb, a phone, a life, it's on your family and you. Like literally no liability. So yeah, there's wild animals, folks, but hey, enjoy the safari. It's a beautiful time. I've been in South Africa and Kenya now. We've got Hadley and Swan says, I want Bruce to experience at least one country in the continent of Africa. And yes, South Pacific, says Richard Scott. Okay. All right, cool. Well, Maya, you ready for the gala on Saturday?
Not even in the size. I have no outfit.
Women. Yeah, I'm saying it. Sanchez said, man, I'm trying to figure out that. I says, just like, oh, I need an order. Oh, let me go home tonight, see if I could send it. Sanchez, you sent it. Oh, I ordered it. I'm just like, is it really that easy for guys? Like, mind you, I had to go get my pants hemmed at Men's Warehouse yesterday.
Exactly. Oh, this suit, this color, make sure it fits.
Yeah. I have a lot. I'm still unsure which color jacket. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it, everybody. So hopefully we see. You know who's going to be there.
A lot of people are going to be there.
Like Hadley and Swan and Kenton Trott and Michelle White and Karen Simmons and Omar Dill and Angeline Butler. Like I saw somebody now. I was like, okay, you all.
The unseen faces of the Daily Hour.
Yeah. So we're going to see them all. So that means you're going to see, all of them's going to see how tall I am compared to everyone else on the team. Maya, you have a wonderful day. All right. See you soon.
My heels are this tall. Bye.
You had to get to the last word. Later, Gator. Safe travels. All right, Maya Palacio, folks. Don't go anywhere. We've got a very important conversation coming up with Shaimeka Ingham from PALS, folks. Do not miss this conversation. I've got a daily play. I want to see if you all get it a bit later. Stick with us. In the meantime, give us a like, love, follow, share the link with your friends, family, colleagues. We'll be back in a few.
People's ACW, located at King Edward VII Memorial Hospital, carries over-the-counter medicines, toys, cards, and even toiletries. Our knowledgeable staff are there whether you're at emergency, visiting family, or a member of BHB staff, to show you our best even when you're feeling your worst. People's ACW, we're here for you.
Hi there, welcome to Medical House. We're located at number 6 Bakery Lane. I can't wait to show you all of the great stuff that we carry. Come on inside, let's see. Long days, long shifts, you no longer have to endure comfortable underwear. Designed by nurses, we now offer premium undergarments by Swoop that are unique, fun, comfortable, and functional. The only underwear you'll ever want to wear. Who says high-quality functional products can be stylish and comfortable at the same time?
See it all at our new expanded location on Bakery Lane.
Attention home renovators and design lovers, your dream space starts here. The brand new Kohler retail showroom at BAC Group is now open, bringing you up to 35% savings on all Kohler products at U.S. manufacturer suggested retail prices. That means no extra fees, no freight, no wharfage, no duty, no document processing fees, just pure cutting-edge Kohler design at unbeatable value. From sleek kitchen and bathroom faucets, vanities, toilets, to statement sinks, walking tubs, and spa-worthy bathtubs, BAC brings innovation and luxury within reach. Visit the BAC showroom on Mill Creek Road today for style, quality, no surprises. Just color from BAC.
Discover Drop It, your go-to grocery delivery. Browse and select from a wide range of groceries, from fresh produce to daily essentials. Our friendly drivers deliver fresh groceries to your door fast, saving you time and hassle. With Drop It, you get fresh groceries delivered fast so you can focus on what really matters. Drop It, freshness at your doorstep, delivered to your door with Lindo's. Why go anyplace else?
Dreaming of expanding your business? With BDC's Loan Guarantee Program, we support your ambitions. Get up to 75% guarantee on bank or credit union loans up to $300,000. Just your vision and our support. Apply today and unlock new business opportunities. BDC, Bermuda Business starts here.
Join us as we celebrate 5 years and 1,000 plus episodes of community conversations on Bermuda's daily talk show. The Daily Hour Gala takes place on April 26th at LF Wade International Airport. For more information and advance tickets, please send an email to admin@bermudacommunications.com. We look forward to celebrating all that's great about our community with all of you.
Alrighty, welcome back to the Big Show. I'm Jamel Hartman. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy. Do not forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. All right, without further ado, just want to let everyone know that we are proud and excited and happy to have more community relationships with the likes of PALS and SCARS and KBB. Because of these organizations and this show exists, we want to move our community forward and through education with folks in these spaces who can engage us in a way that helps us understand the important roles that we play. So we are proud and excited. We have Shaimeka Ingham joining us as the first person from PALS to engage us. So let's give her a warm TDH welcome as she joins us this morning. Hello, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm fine, thank you. How are yourself?
I'm okay. The crowd just went crazy for you for something. Very popular this morning. Before we get into the conversation, I want to ask you this question. What's on your bucket list? I know you've got to have a bucket list.
To travel to Belize.
There you go. Simple. I heard that's one beautiful place. And I think it's the only English-speaking country in Central America, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Yeah. Why Belize? Why is that here on your list?
I don't know. I just always wanted to travel there to see what's over there.
Okay. All right. No. Now I'm gonna try to beat you then. I'm like that. I'm like, all right. That's how I felt in Mauritius. People are like, why Mauritius? I said, I don't know. I saw a picture and I didn't know anyone else who had been there, so I wanted to go. So yeah, that's kind of how it happened. But Shaimeka, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate your patience, and trust me, we're not going to rush you off unless you had somewhere to go. But for the audience's sake, tell us a bit about your background and what it is that you do.
Okay, I have a bachelor's degree in social work. I have worked in many different government organizations. I now work at PALS as a medical social worker.
All right. And for those who may not know about PALS, obviously we've had conversations. I just give a quick, very short spiel, but just remind people about what PALS is and does.
Okay, so PALS is a cancer agency. We deal with only cancer patients. We deal with the onset patients that have cancer from the onset versus at the end of life. We go straight through with you. We actually do at-home care at end of life as well. There is the misconception that PALS only does end of life and that when you get involved with PALS, it's at your end of life. That is not true. We take patients from the onset.
Okay. And audience, if you have any questions or comments for Shaimeka, please send them through. We will get through as many as possible. Speak to us about, you're a medical social worker at PALS. How does your work integrate with the broader PALS team, including some of the physicians and nurses to support cancer patients?
Okay, so I basically assist the nurses with whatever social and emotional needs that the patient may have. So this can range from counseling, this could range from the financial aspects of at home. It could be traveling overseas because many times people are underinsured or their insurance don't cover up front for hotels or their flights. So we do a financial assessment to see if we can assist, and then we go from there in terms of assisting the patients.
Indeed. Thank you for that. And, you know, my mother passed from cancer in 2022. So that was the first time I understood the importance of the work that you did do. And had it not been for her situation, I wouldn't have known that you do from the start right through. I was under the impression it was end of life as well. But PALS is known for providing home-based cancer care. How does this setting impact the emotional and psychological well-being of patients compared to traditional hospital care? Oh, I think we lost you. I think we lost her. Let's see.
Hello?
Oh, okay, you're back. All right, sorry about that. You froze a
Sorry.
bit.
Okay. The ability to be able to be in your own home setting is remarkable for many patients. Many patients want to be with their loved ones, not in a hospital setting. So this allows you to be in your own home environment. It's a wonderful experience to actually.
Okay, we lost her. She'll be back, audience. But I want to share this. Richard Scott said, PALS is the best. Awesome love, care, and support. My mom received the best support from the PALS team. I can echo that as well. Richard, PALS played an instrumental role in my mom's care as well, so I definitely can relate. Charles H. Jefferson II also says, as someone whose mother used the services of PALS twice, including her end of life last year, I can't say enough about how great their services are. We are fortunate in this community to have them. And these are very, very clear. I mean, I think those two messages show the importance of having such organizations in our community. And in fact, Bermuda, we're lucky to have these organizations. There are so many places, even some of the most developed countries, take what you will for that don't have organizations like this to help take care of people. And when I say organizations like this, they're not putting a family in debt to be able to take care of their relatives. But how many people out there have had engagement or interacted or benefited from PALS? I'd like to know how many others have been in touch with PALS in any respect. Let us know how many people out there, but definitely an organization that sees it all the way through. As I just stated to Shaimeka, I was under the impression that it was end of life only as well prior to my mother's own health challenges. But audience, let us know. Sherry Vanderpool says, Shaimeka is just the best, warm, kind, and resourceful. Absolutely. Thank you for that, Sherry. Hopefully she'll be back soon. Just looks like we had some technological challenges just now, folks. So let's take a quick break, and hopefully she'll be back after this break and stick with us. But very important conversation. And in the meantime, if you haven't already, please give us a like, love, follow, share the conversation with your friends, your family, your colleagues, and we'll be back in a short minute. Stick with us.
Being from this little island, like yourself, we knew you needed access to reliable shipping. We set up mailboxes so you can skip all the long waits or held up in customs excuses.
With mailboxes, that won't happen. Get your packages in under 48 hours using our dashboard.
Plus, if you're a planner or headerer, our weekly consolidation service might be for you. We hold your packages in Delaware and ship them together to save you big time on shipping fees.
And with our warehouse being in Delaware, that means 0% sales tax. Pretty cool, right guys?
BAC's new color showroom is now open. Throughout April, for every $50 spent, your name will be entered to win great raffle prizes. Kumler from BAC, where luxury meets affordability.
Looking for the best care for your pets? Novazok Feed and Supply has everything you need, from top quality foods to toys and supplies. We've got it all. Join our frequent buyer program and earn rewards every time you shop. Plus, we've been awarded the Clever Customer Initiative program for helping you save more. And don't forget, we open an hour early on Saturdays so you can get a head start on your pet care. Visit us today or shop online for easy pickup or delivery. Your pets will thank you.
Join us as we celebrate 5 years and 1,000 plus episodes of community conversations on Bermuda's daily talk show. The Daily Hour Gala takes place on April 26th at LF Wade International Airport. For more information and advance tickets, please send an email to admin@bermudacommunications.com. We look forward to celebrating all that's great about our community with all of you.
April is National Child Abuse Prevention Month. Children depend on every single caring adult in our community to make sure they are safe from sexual harm. Keeping them safe not just in April, but every day. Whether you're a parent, a guardian, a grandparent, an aunt, an uncle, or a caregiver, we ask that you take just 3 hours out of your busy schedule to learn what you can do to make sure the precious children in your life are protected. They are worth it. Join the SCARS certified adults by simply visiting our website to sign up for a free SCARS training session. Learn about online and body safety, how to protect them, and how to respond if they are harmed. This information is vital to their well-being and their future. Because they are children, it is our responsibility, Bermuda, to protect them. Visit scarsbermuda.com and learn what you can do to help the child in your life stay safe.
Alrighty, welcome back. Thank you all. So you all are awesome. You didn't drop off. You didn't leave. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. Shaimeka is back. Like I said, this is how life works. You know, things are not always going to be smooth, but it's your support that keeps us going. And we're going to continue the conversation with Shaimeka right now. Alrighty, Shaimeka, you there?
Yes, I am.
All right, perfect. Technology happens, but we are here and we made it back, and the timing is impeccable. But we were discussing, we are speaking about the cancer being overwhelming, and just speaking about how do you assist patients and their families in coping with the emotional aspects of the disease. Oh, I think we're challenged, folks. Okay, she's gone again. Going again. All right, well, let's go to the comments. We've got Janet Maynard says, PALS is a great support to the patient and their families. Can't say enough. They help with providing equipment for their comfort. Absolutely. That is one of a great benefit right there that they have. Charles A. Chefs II says, Janet Maynard, I completely agree. I've seen them go above and beyond to assist patients and families. Such a blessing. And yeah, I mean, the work that Shaimeka in particular does as a medical social worker, ensuring that people have the best care, have the equipment to ensure that they're comfortable. It's something that I really do hope we as Bermudians don't take for granted. This is not something that's just offered everywhere. It's not. When you look at certain jurisdictions and, people, it's sad, but they just don't have the finances to take care of their family and friends who may be going through this. It's something we should appreciate in Bermuda. We definitely should appreciate. Audience, hang in there with us. We do are hoping that Shaimeka can make it back on with us to continue the conversation. But she's a medical social worker at PALS. And if you're not familiar with PALS, PALS is an organization in Bermuda where basically their mission is to provide cancer patients with quality care, primarily in the home setting, in order to enhance quality of life. So, they support and assist cancer patients and their families to meet, physical, emotional, and social needs of patients. They promote healthy dignity and independence, regardless of ability to pay, to the extent of the resources of PALS. So they maximize the use of volunteers and funding by encouraging support for PALS from the community at large. And you can literally go on their website and make a donation. They have options for you. You can provide even $1, but you can go on PALS website, which is pals.bm for more. A great organization. And yes, I must say, Kelly Clark Madeira says here, Colleen English de Grilla is the best executive director, so dedicated. Big up to Colleen. She's an amazing person. Absolutely. Thank you for that, Kelly Clark Madeira. But PALS, again, go on their website. They even have the thrift shop where you can donate different things. It's open Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, 4 o'clock to 7 p.m. on Fridays, Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., and Sundays, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. So check them out at the thrift shop. But if you want to learn more, the best way to do so is to go on their website, pals.bm. They are registered charity number 171. for anyone who's looking to make a donation. They have their walk early in the year as well. So they had the walk, I think, in January or February. They had the PALS walk, which I know quite a few people who participated in that. So again, thank you to PALS. Thank you to all those who support PALS. And I'm going to share a bit more of their history. So PALS, I believe they've been around since the 80s, right? As it reads on their website from their history, very humble beginnings. Yeah, it was the first formal minutes of PALS were recorded in August 1980. So yeah, a year before I was born. Yeah. But here's what's interesting. This is a very interesting stat. In fact, and remember this because we may discuss this on subsequent episodes. PALS spends over $5,000 a day on patient care. $5,000 a day. Yeah. Right. As of today, they employ an executive director, a medical director, 6 specialized nurses, and a medical social worker, 2 administrators, as well as 2 consultants for the thrift shop. They do depend primarily on financial donations from the generous people of Bermuda, without whose support they would not exist. So operating funds are derived from memorial donations, general donations, and annual appeal in lieu of union dues, and through the tireless work of so many of the volunteers and ongoing fundraising events. In 2018, they opened the thrift shop as a self-sustaining source of revenue, which to date has proven very successful. So PALS doing their thing. All right, we're going to bring Shaimeka back in. Again, thank you all so much for rocking with us. Yes, thank you. The PALS walk is at the end of February. All right, let's bring Shaimeka back in for the conversation. Shaimeka, how are you? You there? It's okay.
Yes.
The audience has definitely been engaging, and I'll just share some more of the comments real quickly before we get back to the conversation. But Sherry Vanderpool says Shaimeka is just the best, warm, kind, and resourceful. We had Charles H. Jefferson II saying, as someone whose mother used the services of PALS twice, including her end of life last year, I can't say enough about how great their services are. We are fortunate in this community to have them. And we have Richard Scott, who also said PALS is the best. Awesome love, care, and support. My late mom received the best support from PALS team. We have Janet Maynard said PALS is a great support to the patient and their families. Can't say enough. They help with providing equipment to their comfort. We also, another comment, Carmen Tucker said PALS team are the best. They were very supportive to our family, help with supplies and nursing staff. They ensured we had everything we needed for my stepmother, a highly valuable charity. And as we went off just now, I was just speaking about how do you assist patients and their families in coping with the emotional aspects of cancer.
Okay, so we also have an IOP program, which is the Integrated Oncology Program, and that offers a psychological component to it. It also has a nutritionist and reflexology. So patients are also allowed to drop into these classes twice a month on a Friday, and they're held at PALS. The patient doesn't have to be going through their cancer journey. They could be in remission. They can, as long as they have had cancer or have cancer, they're allowed to attend these programs. We also refer patients for psychological assistance to different agencies in the community. Sometimes patients just want to talk to me as opposed to going to a stranger, because I somehow seem to maneuver my way into being a great support for them. So, and that they can rely on me and trust that what they have to say is in a safe environment. A lot of times patients feel as though they can't tell their loved ones what's actually going on with them. So we work really hard with families and the patient to gain the support and understanding of what's actually happening. Because sometimes a daughter may say, oh, my mom's not telling me everything. I don't feel she's telling me everything that's going on. Well, your mom doesn't feel as though she doesn't want to burden you. And sometimes that's what happens. We just try to support everybody that's there to make sure that everybody can have a better understanding of how the patient actually feels. It's not that the patient wants to be standoffish or doesn't want to share with them. Sometimes it's just they just don't want to put that burden on their family member.
And I know you mentioned the assistance for the patients psychologically. Can we speak about the family? Because the impact. I always say the person who passes, they no longer feel the pain. It's the people they leave behind. How does PALS go about working with families from a psychological perspective?
So we do offer grief counseling. We have Karen Dyer, who actually does our grief counseling. So we refer patients or patients' loved ones to her for grief counseling. So that's good. And we also utilize mask as well for men, because a lot of men don't usually want to talk.
Yeah.
And so we try our best to support them, the husbands, the sons, the fathers, so that they can have an outlet.
Audience, if you have any more questions or comments, please send them through. Michelle Doors says, PALS is amazing. My mother's nurse still remembers me 30 plus years after she passed. That is awesome. Speak about your role in particular. I remember my mother asking me if I missed doing talk radio one year when I was, she picked me up from the airport. We were driving across the causeway. And I said, no. I mean, at that time, I was like, no, because I had to take on so many other people's issues. And, I'm not a therapist or not. But in your role, you obviously, started this. It's who you are. How hard is it as situations differ, right? Because again, the stage from when they first find out where you start with them and you go through that process, how are you able to manage the expectations per se of family through that process? Because I'm going to be honest, for me, you don't want to believe your relative's going to pass away, but how do you manage those expectations of the family?
I definitely would say it's about building a relationship with the family members, and allowing them to express what they're actually feeling without putting judgment on them, allowing them to actually say, sorry, excuse me. No, my mom's not passing. No, she's not. That's not happening. And also turning them back to, well, medically, this is what's happening. Look at these stages, and we're actually on this road. This is actually what's happening. And our doctor, Dr. Alakani, is extremely good with explaining and breaking down what is actually happening with the family member. And so are the nurses. We have a good team. It's a great team. That's why getting a referral at the onset of your cancer is very important, because that allows you to build a relationship with the team, so that as you progress through, you have that stability. You have that one person or that team that can say, I know that they're going to give me the real of what's actually happening.
Indeed.
So our team actually, like, the nurses go to oncology appointments with family and patients, because sometimes when you get into the doctor's office, you heard, I have cancer. You heard, this is progressing, and that's all you heard. So everything else is just muffled. So when you come out of the meeting, you don't understand. You're like, no, that's not what they said to me. No. So having the nurse there with you when you go into these meetings is also important, because she can say, no, remember when they asked you this? So they break it all down to the patient so that they have a better understanding and know what's actually happening.
I think you just said something very important from the onset. I think that is probably the best thing to do. I remember, I think my mom, I was on the phone because obviously living outside of Bermuda, and she was just, oh, okay. And I'm asking my sister, was she good? She's like, yeah, she was just okay. And I don't know if it was like, well, reality hadn't hit, or just trying to ignore it. But I'm definitely happy that you offer this service from the beginning of it, again, which I did not know until I faced it myself. Headley Swan says, hi, Shaimeka Ingham. Shaimeka, she is awesome and she makes the world's best popcorn, hands down. Oh, I'm a popcorn guy, so we'll be calling. Real quickly, as you were off, I was speaking about the history and how people can go on the website pals.being and donate. But how important are donations to the work that you do, and how can members of the community support PALS, whether through volunteering donations or other means? Because again, you guys have a walk. I don't know if you have any of the other events that we can support.
So PALS is completely funded by donations and grants. We don't get any funds from government. It's very, very important for us to be able to have these funds. These funds allow us to cover all the services that we offer. PALS doesn't charge patients or their families anything. The services are completely free. The only thing that you would pay for would be the delivery of goods, which would be like a hospital bed. We actually have equipment. So we have commodes, any medical equipment. We have medical supplies for wounds, dressings. People donate dressings to us. You can donate on pals.bm. You can also come in and donate to us. We do have the Pals Walk right now. We're doing the It's Electric for raffle for it's $100 for a raffle to win an electric vehicle.
All right.
And that's going really, really well. So if you want to get your raffle, jump on in, and you can order them online as well as coming into PALS.
All righty. Yeah, I did see that on the website. I didn't know if it was currently going on. Okay, check that out, pals.bm. One last question before you head out. What advice would you give to someone who maybe has a family member going through cancer treatment right now, and they just don't know how to feel?
I would say definitely try and get them to ask their oncologist or GP for a referral to PALS, or pop in. You can always pop into our office. There's always someone there that can explain what our services are and to get a feel for how we run our organization. I would say definitely popping in is really good because we give you that one-on-one. We sit in our lounge and we discuss how you actually feel, where you're at, your resistance to wanting to have PALS. So yeah, I would say get a referral or come in and see us.
Shaimeka, thank you so much for this. Honestly, it's a helpful conversation. Thank you to the audience for engaging as well. We won't be strangers because we'll be having these conversations on a regular basis. And I'm grateful to Colleen and your team for the work that you do. So have a wonderful day, and we'll definitely be in touch.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Take care.
No problem. You too. Shaimeka Ingham, folks, if you appreciated that conversation, found the information helpful, please do us one big favor. It costs you nothing. Whatever platform you're on, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter X, Instagram, give us a like, love, follow, share the conversation with your friends, your family, your colleagues. We're not going to take another commercial break at this time. We're going to jump right in to the Daily Play. So thanks again to the BAC group of companies, Medical House Lenders, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring we can have these conversations with you on a regular basis. It is time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Bermuda Trivia, now available at stores throughout Bermuda. Follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter X, and TikTok to find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. All right. Are you ready, audience? It's a name that place. Name that place. All right. Here we go. This is so easy. What man-made waterway was completed on August 15th, 1914? All right, Auntie S, right before the buzzer, the Panama Canal. It was, yes. Well, if a certain person has his way, it'll be called the American Canal, but you get what I'm saying. Charles H. Jefferson II, yes, Panama Canal. And we've got Michelle Doors also said Panama Canal. Yeah, it was the Panama Canal. France began the construction of the canal in 1881, and the United States took control of the project in 1904. So yeah, Panama Canal, folks, that was it. Audience, before you head out, we, as it relates to the abandoned buildings and unused government buildings or derelict buildings, I believe we came up with some pretty good solutions this morning. And those solutions include public-private partnerships to pretty much give people an opportunity to live, to have opportunities, but also that doesn't cost the government any more money. I think these conversations are ongoing, but they need to be had, but they have to be done with the best interests of the Bermudian people when decisions are made. In reference to the conversation with Shaimeka, definitely appreciate everything that Powell's is doing, especially what she's doing in her role. It's one of the toughest jobs, man. I mean, unless what's that saying Bob Marley says? Those who feel it know it, right? It's one of those situations. Who feels it knows it. And I am very appreciative, as my aunt in the comments, and as Charles and Richard and Michelle Doors and Carmen Taka, as you all said, the organization is of value to Bermuda and Bermudians. So I'm making my donation out right after this show. So I really do hope that others are encouraged to give to these organizations, because it's one of those things where I say, what they say, don't wait till you need them to connect with them, right? My hope is that we never need them. You know how I feel about charity overall is that we don't need them, but the truth is they play an amazing role in our community, and we do need them. Regarding the gala, really looking forward to seeing you. This is the final show before we have our 5-year anniversary gala. Just give a rundown. We do not have any more tickets. We had to have people who actually sold their tickets to other people if they were willing to give them up. So I'm happy about that we're expecting a full house. I'm absolutely happy and excited that we'll be having a panel that will be moderated by Hazel Clark, and the panel will be with Jonathan Halls from Bermuda Press Holdings, Trevor Lindsay, TNN, Jasmine Patterson from Bermuda Broadcasting, and Nikita Robinson from Island Communications, Magic 102.7. We'll be speaking about the importance of local media in that panel and the role that local media plays. We'll be honoring the lifetime contributions of Glenn Blakeney to the media space. The event will be hosted by Tiffany Pankta on the red carpet, and we will be having Nikki Fagan, who is at Skyport. She'll be the MC for the night. Sponsored by the Ministry of Tourism, Transport, Culture, and Sport, as well as People's Pharmacy and the Bermuda Economic Development Corporation. It's going to be a very special night. Honestly, I'm upset and sad that some of you are not able to join us, but it's not going to be one of these all show things. It's going to be a lot of information, a lot of engagement. It's going to be a very mature community night for all of us to be a part of, remember, and to share with those who are unable to make it. So I'm grateful to all the mediums that were able to come together to make this night special. And I really do look forward to seeing everyone who has tickets. I'm going to keep saying it, who has tickets on Saturday night. All right, I got to give you a quote, don't I? So let's find a quote. All right, let's see. All righty, let's go with Stokely Carmichael, aka Kwame Ture, civil rights activist and Prime Minister of the Black Panther Party, said, quote, "Our grandfathers had to run. My generation's out of breath. We ain't running no more, end quote. Sometimes you got to stay and fight, folks. Sometimes you have to stay and fight. Don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Thanks again to our partners, the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House Lindos, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you on Monday. Yeah, Monday, next week. All right, no show tomorrow. I'm Jamel Hartman. Please do make it a safe and a great weekend. We are out. Peace.